operating this motorized vehicle with so much wrath right now.
You can't drive with wrath! That's a sin! What's up, YouTube? I died in a fatal car crash about a week ago, and the first thing that happens when you enter purgatory is you meet William Shakespeare. Hooray! And all that have to keep me company are William Shakespeare and my friends Bonky and John. And I can't enter the afterlife, William said. William told me I can't enter the afterlife until Bonky and John get Hamlet and how he's an egoist. So now I'm going to explain to them act by act why Hamlet's an egoist. Alright, so I'm here with the pals, John and Bonky and John. Bruh. And, in Act 1 of Hamlet, Hamlet starts with the guards and Hamlet's friend. They run into the apparition of old Hamlet. And they tell and Hamlet says, I want to see this for myself. I want to see it for my lonesome. And they tell him not to do it, but Hamlet doesn't listen. You see, guys, Hamlet just doesn't listen. Because he has a huge ego, and he just has this huge self-reliance thing where he has to do everything by his lonesome. Me personally, I'd be pretty distraught if I was lonely, but that's Hamlet, and this kind of foreshadows his behavior, because he pulls a sword out on them, and he just runs off to go see his dad, or his dad. And this foreshadows Hamlet, because even beyond just Act 1, he does this a lot. He just doesn't like them guards, and he does a ton of stuff on his own. In Act 2 of Hamlet, Hamlet has an amazing idea, and I'm going to act that out with Bonky and John. So, Hamlet has two amazing ideas, actually. One of them is he starts acting crazy, he starts acting mad, he starts acting berserk, he starts acting rambunctious. And the other one is he recreates the death of his father, that supposedly Polonius killed him. He recreates that with the play just to see if he gets a reaction out of anyone. And when his friends try to help them, I'll show you what happens. Hamlet tells his friends to shut up and that it's just a bit. He's not actually mad. But he's really good at pretending to be crazy. In the third act of Hamlet, we get the famous line, to be or not to be. This is just him saying, would he rather be alive and live with his Uncle Dad or be dead? It's probably not cool to live with your Uncle Dad. And then he has a line where he talks about slings of arrows and outrageous misfortune, which is, his realization. The world is against him. And with all this going around, he's acting mad, but I think he's just really good at being crazy. So, I think he's just actually crazy. So he kills Polonius impulsively because he feels the need of self-reliance to feel like he needs to know that he's accomplished something. So he kills Polonius because he thinks it's his uncle. He acts impulsively. Building up on what I said about the previous act, we're now in Act 4, my favorite act of Hamlet. Hamlet really dials up the craziness now because he killed Polonius and he refuses to tell Guildenstern and Rosencrantz where he hid the body. Like Among Us. He just doesn't tell them where it is. And he eventually gets sent to England because he's really good at the crazy act. But I don't believe he's crazy. I think he's just blinded by his own ego and his need for self-reliance. Because he just feels he needs to do everything on his own. And instead of accomplishing them, it just weighs him down more and more throughout the story. To the point that he just actually becomes crazy. Up until now, Hamlet continuously compares himself to Fortinbras because they're completely opposite characters. Fortinbras here, he gets things done, he plans. Meanwhile, Hamlet, he acts impulsively. He killed Polonius, and he got Rosencrantz and Guildenstern killed. I butchered that name. I'm sorry, Gilden. He got him killed. He acts impulsively, and at the end of the day, yeah, he killed King Claudius, but Ophelia died, and he's dead, and it's all his fault, and he gets replaced by the person he compared himself to all along, Fortinbras. But why? If he's the main character, why doesn't he get a happy ending? Well, it's kind of bittersweet, because he relied too much on himself, and he had too big of an ego to get help from anyone else, that he died at the end. He held himself back. The haters weren't preying on his downfall. He was his own hater. And it just goes to say that being egotistical is just going to hold you back. You're not going to get stuff done if you only believe in yourself.